Hi there, my name is Kate and my Poshmark Closet is River City Love. If you are a returning viewer, I so appreciate you, especially if you're one of the people that has hit the subscribe button. Thank you so much. If you are new here, I am Kate. I am a super part-time reseller. I am a hobby reseller and I have been doing it for about 2 years. So in this video, what I would like to do is go through my 10 best and my 10 worst sales. I'm going to start with the very worst and move to the very best so that we can end on a high note. Just a note, if you hear any strange noises or anything, I have kittens running around. They are playing in the room, so sorry. Okay, so we're gonna get into it, and unfortunately for me, hopefully not unfortunately for you, I have to start with a bit of a confession, which is that I am not very good under pressure in certain situations, and I am also like conflict avoidant 200%. You know, that stat is off the charts on my character sheet. So a few of the things, including my worst sale, are things that I sort of accidentally paid up for. Basically, I went into one of my local Uptown cheapskates. There were some things that were on the clearance rack, they were on the sales rack, but they actually weren't on sale. I'm assuming someone was shopping and picked them up and decided that they didn't want it, and the sales rack is right by the cash register, so they just stuck it on there. And I didn't track or didn't realize that it actually wasn't discounted on the price tag. I just assumed that because it was on the sales rack, it was on sale. And I didn't realize that until the cashier had already rung me all the way up and I had the total, and I just kind of panicked and I just bought these things for more than I had intended to. And then lo and behold, I think like 3 of them ended up on my worst sales list. So we're gonna start with an Anthropologie Lucretia sunglass polka dot shift dress. This dress was actually very cute. The comps were good. But I think maybe what happened is that it had a moment of popularity. So that was at the time that I had purchased it. It had a moment of popularity and there were a number of good comps. I paid $6 at the Uptown cheapskate. I listed it on May 28th, 2024, and it did not sell until May 2nd, 2025. So it took 339 days to sell. I bought it for $6, I sold it for $7, and then Poshmark took their fee of $2.95, and I lost $1.95. Thankfully, that is the only sale that I actually lost money on, but the next one is from that same trip to Uptown cheapskate. Again, I paid up for this. I should have just left it behind. It's a Show Me Your Moo sunflower crop top booty short festival party Coachella set was the title. I paid $16 for this, and here's the thing is it was an extra small, and I think that was part of what was really working against me, was that this set was teeny tiny. So I listed it on May 4th, 2024, and it did not sell until June 4th, 2025. So it took 396 days to sell, and I sold it for $20. Poshmark took a $4 fee. I completely broke even on this sale. So thankfully from here on out, it's all in the positive, but some of these are still pretty pathetic. This Lauren Conrad sheer romantic blush feminine pink embroidery button-down blouse. I got it at the bins. I paid $1.20 for it. I listed it on May 7th, 2024, and it didn't sell until February 7th, 2025. So it took 276 days to sell for $7. And after fees and the shipping discount, I made 41 cents. What a joke. This next one was also from Uptown Cheapskate. I did pay what I intended to pay, which was only $3. It was on sale. It was the Coliseum Athletics Virginia Tech Go Hokies cotton hoodie, School Spirit University. It's a little gray hoodie. It was small, it was pretty tight. I don't know if that was maybe what was going against me. It wasn't super oversized, or I wouldn't necessarily call it comfy. Like, it looked like it would definitely be form-fitting. I listed it April 28th, 2024, and it didn't sell until May 1st, 2025. So 368 days. Somebody sold it for, or bought it for $9 after fees and discount, 73 cents. I got this at the bins. It's Billy Blues 100% cotton sky blue lightweight trouser pants, size 8, vacation beach. I actually thought these were really cute and I loved the color. So I don't really know. I guess maybe this just, and it was 100% cotton. But yeah, it took 273 days to sell for $7, so I made $1.03. This next one is a brand that I actually like, but I think that things like tank tops and stuff just might not do that well on Poshmark, because there is standard shipping, and so I think sometimes people don't want to pay for just one tank top plus shipping, you know what I mean? So anyway, it's a spiritual gangster, women's extra small, that might also have been working against me, cut off tank top, yoga, Eye of Providence, workout top. It took 182 days to sell for $7, and minus fee and discount, I made $1.03. At least we've broken $1, right? This next one was another bins pickup, so I paid $1.62 for it. It's a Serengeti women's 1X pleated button pattern paisley animal print floral tunic. It only took 9 days to sell, so it's definitely in the lead there. But it sold for $8, and minus fee and discount, I made $1.11. This next one I actually didn't pay anything for. They were new with tags, Italian shoemakers, women 7.5, white strap slide sandals. And I do have a number of friends and family that will just give me things that they are intending to take to the thrift store anyway. And so one of my friends gave me these, so I had zero cost of goods, and yet it still ended up on one of my worst sales, so interesting. Anyway, it took 407 days to sell. I listed it in February of 2024, and it didn't sell until April of 2025 for $5, and so minus the fee, I made $2.05. That's kind of bonkers. I definitely wouldn't have listed those if they weren't new with tags, but since they were new with tags, I threw them up there, saw what happened, and what happened is 407 days later, I made $2.05. All right, we're coming to the end of the worst. So in second to last place is Millie for Design Nation women's small cotton A-line summer midi skater skirt. This was a bins pickup for $1.62. It only took 48 days to sell, but it only sold for $9, and minus fee and shipping discount, I made $2.11. I've definitely learned a lot in the last 2 years, and one of those things is, even at the bins, I still want to be looking for a higher sales price. You know, I really am looking for things that are going to sell at least around the $20 mark, even at the bins, even though the bins is very cheap. So yeah, what I just read to you is basically a lot of lessons that I learned. And this last one is not the worst profit, but it is from that same Uptown Cheapskate pickup where I panicked at the register. I paid $32.99 for this, It is Lily Pulitzer. It's the only Lily Pulitzer thing I've ever sold. The Kaylee Hubba Bubba C Cups Lane Trim Pink Shift Vacation Dress. It only took 28 days to sell, and I gotta tell you, I think I was panicking through those whole 28 days because I just wanted it to sell. It sold for $50, which was my full asking price. I lost $10 on the fee, and so I made $7.01 on this dress that I spent $32.99 on. And the reason why I put it on the list of worst sales is not because it's the lowest profit, but because, like I said, I was kind of panicking because I hadn't intended to spend so much on that. So I just wanted it gone. And so even though it only took 28 days to sell, that was 28 days of anxiety that I don't want to relive. Okay, so this is more fun. I think it's my best sales. And some of these things are very, very cute and very exciting to me. So at the bottom of the best is an Adriana Papel Evening Women's Size 10 Blue Lace High Neck Sleeveless Dress. I got this at the bins for $1.62. It was in great shape. I mean, completely flawless condition. I listed it on June 3rd, 2024, and it sold on June 25th. So it only took 22 days to sell for $40 minus fee and discount. I made $28.36. Love that. The next one is also such a fun find. A Karina 100% silk sequin Mardi Gras circus artsy vintage party cardigan blazer. I had to take a video of this just to show how the light was shimmering off of it. And the entire time it was in my house, I actually just left it on my mannequin because I loved it. It made me so happy. It was Mardi Gras colors. It was so cute. So it did take 153 days to sell. I listed it in May of last year, and then it sold in October for $40, and minus fee and shipping discount, I made $31.88. And I hope that whoever has it loves it as much as I did. The next one I got from Uptown Cheapskate for $5. It was a new with tags, the Jet Set Diaries women's small maxi dress, long sleeve, silky, striped. Pretty sure it was a dress. It was either a dress or romper. No, it was a dress. I listed it March 20th of this year. It sold May 3rd of this year. So it took 44 days to sell for $50. That was my full asking price, minus the $10 fee. I made $35 on it. This next one was also a fun find. It was a unique handmade figure skating dress, leotard, red velvet, beaded spiral sheer. I found it in the bins, and I went back and forth on picking it up because it was clearly handmade. It didn't have a brand tag on it, but it was so cute and it was in good condition. So I bought it for $1.48. I listed it July 9th, 2024, and it sold August 30th, 2024. So it took 52 days to sell for $50. That was my full asking price. So minus the $10 fee, I made $38.52. And I remember the sweet love note that the person wrote for this. She said it was perfect. So that made me really happy. And actually, a couple weeks ago, I found a couple of figure skating dresses at my favorite thrift store, and remembering this purchase, I bought them, and one of them is already getting attention, so hopefully those will be good sales as well. The next one was kind of a surprising thing to me. It's a Brunello Cucinelli 100% cotton button-down front tie short sleeve cardigan. So I don't know if I'd ever seen like a short sleeve cardigan like this before. It was nice. It was in good condition. The buttons were really well fastened. That's what I remembered about it. I was like, oh, these buttons are never coming off. And I found it in the bins. and it was in like perfect or near perfect shape, but it kind of shocked me when I looked up comps and realized that Brunello Cucinelli sells for good money. So I listed it May 7th, 2024, and it didn't sell until March 8th, 2025. So it did take 305 days to sell, but it sold for $53, and minus fee and shipping discount, I made $39.18. It's funny, this next one is on the list of best sales, but I actually, after selling it, decided not to sell men's dress suits anymore. So it's a Burberry vintage double-breasted pinstripe 100% wool suit, 40 regular. I bought it at the bins for $1.41. I listed it on April 27th, 2024, and then it sold on September 6th, 2024, so it took 132 days to sell. It sold for $60, which was my full asking price, so there was just the $12 fee from Poshmark, and I made $46.59. But I realized that I'm kind of intimidated by menswear in general, and especially something nice like a suit jacket. You know, I had to do extra measuring just to make sure I was listing it correctly, and I just felt a little out of my element since I'm not a man and I don't wear those kinds of things. So I don't really think I'm going to be picking stuff up like that in the future unless the brand is so good that I can't leave it behind. Okay, so the next one is, so my mom gave me a bunch of jewelry that she didn't want anymore, and this was a Myler 925 Italian sterling silver flower pendant necklace, and the pictures really don't do it justice. It was hard to get a good picture of it, but it's a solid silver flower, so cute. So my cost of goods were nothing. I listed it on June 10th, and it sold on June 21st, so that was 11 days to sell for $65. That was my full asking price, minus the $13 fee from Poshmark. I made $52. The next one is a Cassandra Stone 20W tiered sequin navy blue full length sleeveless evening gown that I picked up in the bins for $1.62. I listed it on June 3rd, 2024, and it sold on June 25th, 2024. So it only took 22 days to sell for $80. So minus fees and shipping, I made $60.36. So it was pretty exciting. Again, this was like a really nice evening gown that I found in the bins. Okay, the next one is another piece of jewelry from my mama, Timex Quartz Sun Moon Day Night Phase analog gold wristwatch leather band. I love this little sun moon design. I think a lot of other people do too. It seems pretty popular. Again, my cost of goods were nothing because this is just something my mom gave me, and I listed it on September 9th, 2024, and it sold on November 27th, so it took 79 days to sell for $90. That was my full asking price, so I just paid the $18 fee to Poshmark, and I made $72. And now for the best sale I've ever had. It's another evening gown that I found in the bins. So gorgeous. A Badgley Mishka. I apologize if I said that incorrectly. Full length gown. Mother of the Bride navy blue with gold accent. Paid $1 for it. I listed it on April 17th, 2024, and it sold on May 17th. So it only took 1 month to sell for $175. That was my full asking price. And after the $35 fee, I made $139 on that dress. And it's definitely sales like that that make reselling exciting. I do think that resellers are a little bit like gambling addicts in some ways, because it is. I mean, you just saw the whole spectrum. I could lose $1.95 on an item, or I could make $139 on an item. And then obviously some people make even more than that depending on what they're picking up. So this was pretty fun to see. a walk down memory lane and a reminder of kind of the numbers behind what I'm doing. So I hope that you found it interesting as well. If you are a returning viewer, you'll remember that I destroyed my phone in the city river that I do love so much. And so I've been without a phone for about a week and a half, so I've actually kind of been on pause from reselling, but I'm gonna get back into it. I got a brand stinking new phone, and I am ready to get back to the bins and get back to listing. So I will see you next week. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day and make lots of money. Bye.